This week, tech billionaire Trump supporters started flooding Miami TV with attack ads. The target, Oliver Gilbert. Who's paying and what they're really buying is the part they'd rather you not see. Silicon Valley tech billionaires endorsed Donald Trump, put $12 million into his super PAC, and joined crypto giants Coinbase and Ripple in funding his inauguration. Trump signed their bill into law and personally pocketed over $1 billion from crypto last year alone. They bought Trump's Washington. Now they're shopping for Democrats. Their weapon is Fairshake, a $193 million crypto super PAC funded by Coinbase, Ripple, and the same tech billionaires. In Democratic primaries, it hides behind a friendlier name, Protect Progress. 97% of its money, straight from Fairshake. Here's their playbook. Pick a black Democratic primary and drown it in money. Houston, $6.5 million. Congressman Al Green's 20-year career, over. Chicago, nearly $10 million to stop Juliana Stratton. Illinois beat them anyway. Now they've picked District 24, nearly $900,000 in attack ads on TV and cable, booked through primary day. Here's their own paperwork, and the one word it never says, crypto. And they don't just pick who to attack, they pick the congressman they want to buy. Kendrick Meek Jr. is on your ballot. His father sits on the Global Advisory Council at Coinbase, the operation's top donor this cycle. They ousted Al Green. Illinois wasn't for sale. Neither is District 24.
For decades, Daphne Campbell has stood with the people of South Florida, listening and delivering results. A proud Democrat since 1994, registered nurse. She championed opportunities for underserved students to attend college, build brighter futures, and stronger public schools. Senator Campbell will fight to fully fund our classrooms, pay teachers what they are worth, and stop politicians from playing politics with our kids' futures. When residents demanded action against unfair traffic fines, Daphne listened and successfully fought to remove red light traffic cameras in North Miami, Biscayne Park, Miami Shores, and El Portal. Daphne Campbell is also a victim of gun violence. She lost her son to gun violence and understands the pain too many Florida families live with. She believes we can protect the Second Amendment while keeping our children and communities safe. Her vision is clear: stronger public schools, better healthcare, affordable housing, safer neighborhoods, and more opportunities for every family. Experience, leadership, results. Vote Daphne Campbell. Your voice, your future. Our district. District 108. Punch number 102 on your ballot. Political ad paid and approved by Daphne D. Campbell, Democratic candidate for state representative, District 108.
Hi, I'm Katrina Wilson, and I am running for school board member, District 1. I've been a lifelong educator for more than 30 years, and I have served in Miami-Dade County Public Schools for almost 40 years. I think that I have a depth of knowledge about education and an experience. Education is the gateway to the future. I think it allows you to dream.
While Ron DeSantis chose fights over culture wars, I've stayed focused on what families in Miami-Dade County actually need. I'm Ashley Gant. And in the Florida House, I saw Ron DeSantis play politics with our kids' classrooms while the real problems go ignored. I proudly stood up to that agenda, fighting for our schools, our families, our freedom to live our lives. Now I'm ready to take that fight to the Florida Senate. Family first, community first. That's how I'll lead in the Senate.
This is a young man who is so selfless that he allowed me to bring into my home little criminal boys to live with us. When they needed clothes, he would help me pick out sneakers and clothing for them. Now, these are children with criminal records. That's who this young man is. When he finished college, he said to me, I want to work in the toughest school in Dade County. The director of the juvenile justice school called me one day and he said, this young man is magical because the baddest in here listens to him. That's just how he said it. So when I say to you today, Miami Gardens, y'all getting ready to get y'all a prize to sit on your county. You hear me? Ain't nobody like Paul Wilson. I'm telling you, he is absolutely fabulous. Hello, everybody. I'm endorsing Oliver Gilbert because he has always delivered for us, raising wages, delivering paid sick leave, and passing a law to lower water rates.
I'm Oliver Gilbert, and I approve this message because from supporting the 5,000 Role Models program to standing up to Trump, I'm ready to carry on the legacy of Congresswoman Wilson.
Trust me, we need Oliver Gilbert in Congress.
This was awesome. Thank you for tuning in. What's up, Hollow News family? Welcome to another episode of the Can We Talk podcast, our show where we talk to dope people in the community doing dope things, and we give you the political tea, gossip, hot topics, and everything in between. We have been doing our special edition election coverage. We've been interviewing candidates, and y'all, we are one day before the biggest primary, I feel like, in my lifetime. And also, too, I'm just grateful that the candidates see value in our platform, even to come the day before the election, because there's still a lot of us who just haven't voted yet. I'm one of them, right? If they still see the value in our platform to come on and speak to you guys live and in color. I see the keepers in the comments. We have our guest backstage. I'm really excited to have her on. We had some technical issues early on. We actually did an interview weeks ago. I was like, nah, baby girl, you deserve the better treatment, the queen treatment. You deserve to be live. Are you okay with reshooting this? And she was like, I don't know, let my team like that. I said, let me just show you an example of what I wanted for you. And she said, okay, let's do it over. So I appreciate her for making time in her busy schedule for coming back on Hollow News and doing the interview live, right? And so I see y'all in the chat. Let's go. Hey, Tontis. Hey, Ibraid. What's up, Andrea? What's up? Not Andrea. Andrea. Oh, yes. One more day to political ads, girl. But look, to your point, I hope they come back for the general, okay? And we're going to do a report on who actually spent with Black-owned media. Not just me, but everybody. Everybody. What's up, keepers? If you're new here, we call the Hollow News family, the Can We Talk podcast audience, we're keepers, okay? And if you stay here long enough, you'll understand why we call each other the keepers, okay? Keep sending me the tea. Keep coming to the show. Keep. So they started calling themselves keepers when me and the girls from the city of West Park were tussling. So just want to give y'all a quick little history lesson there. What's up, y'all? Oh gosh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to have my guest on. Y'all, look, please get the numbers up tonight. Let's share. This is our last show before the primary, y'all. I need y'all to get the numbers up tonight. Y'all, look. I got the hat on. I don't got the hat on, but I got my tea. And after these interviews, we're gonna get into some election predictions, okay? So y'all make sure y'all run these numbers up. Y'all, this gonna be a good show. I'm feeling it in my bones. I'm feeling it in my bones. Also too, I just want to send a quick message to our other guest, just so she knows what's going on. Because
We started a little bit late, so I would just want to let them know, hey, started late. She can come on. She's ready, but definitely excited about our guest tonight. So if my next guest is ready, let me hear you say yeah. No, she can't. She can't say that. But give me a thumbs up backstage if you're ready to go, and we could go toe to toe. Oh. Hold up, my questions. I need us to sign back in. Okay, girl. Okay, girl. No, we here. Here we are. Here we are. We good to go. So I'm ready to have our next guest on. Without further ado, I would love to introduce Satin Fye, who's running for state representative for District 109. So without further ado, let's show her some love in the chat. Y'all like and share also too, Satin. I hope you shared the link with your family and friends so they can watch also too and cheer you on in the comments. Okay. So without further ado, I would love to welcome her to the show, Miss Satin Fye. Hey.
Hi, keepers.
Come
Yes,
on,
this is I
girl.
listen, I hear that this is the place where us millennials are gathering at.
This is the place. This
Okay.
is the place. But also, too, let's not sleep on our baby boomers because they be watching it and Gen Xers. They the
They've been
generation right
clocking
above
in.
millennials. They they mess with high low news. They like the way us millennials get down. So I love it. I love it. I love it.
Love
Y'all,
it.
we are about to have a good show, a good conversation. Satin, thank you again for coming on the show. How you doing, girl?
It's been busy. This election cycle has been busy. Engaging with our folks has been it's been great getting to know a lot of folks throughout the community, but it's just been a very hot and busy election cycle. Literally
I
hot.
bet. No. This is, I feel like I've been feeling sorry for the people because it's been 3,000 degrees. What juvenile say? 4,000 degrees. It's been so effing hot. So I'm like, I've been feeling sorry for y'all and praying for y'all. God be a ice water for y'all because a few times I went out there and I was like, and they be out here all day. I've been popping in and out, but yeah. So I have a
Door
newfound
knocking is not
respect.
for the weak. It's not for the
That
weak.
part. And standing at the polls all day ain't for the weak either. Okay.
Mm-mm, at all.
I love it. Sat, we're gonna jump into the conversation. And so I wanna, for people who may not know you, introduce yourself to the audience and let them know who you are when the cameras aren't rolling.
So I am Satin Fye. I am a proud graduate. First and foremost, I gotta shout out Miami Northwestern. So I'm a proud graduate. I'm a Miami native, born and raised right here. I live in our community in the heart of the city. I have two sons, one who's also on the spectrum. I'm an autism advocate, a daughter of civil servants, one being a tenant rights activist. My mother's a retired U.S. Department of HUD civil servant as well, a community keeper, a union member, a organizer, and a longtime flight attendant. So I've been working for a major airline for about 20 years now. So I've been out here.
Okay. And why are you running for state representative for District 109? And
So
why
I've
is the
always
right time? Sorry, and why is now the right time for you?
So I've been civically engaged. I was a former member of the Miami-Dade Democratic Black Caucus, where I was a community engagement chairperson. I have been to the Democratic National Convention where I volunteered in 2024 to help get Kamala Harris elected as our first Black president, well, female Black president. And I've always been, like I said, civically engaged in terms of voting, voter education, and just trying to mobilize and organize and get our folks out here to the polls. So I decided that this was a good time for me to run because our community needs an organizer and they need something different. They need someone that is closest to the problem, but also understands and can provide some solution to everyday working people's issues. We need more people powered policy right now in this day and time where things are super expensive, gas is high, insurance is high. You can barely afford to move out on your own. These jobs aren't paying well. So we need someone that is an organizer that also understand what it is to fight for working people, that's also a mother that understands advocating for children and children's resources, and bringing more funding into our public schools and standing up to, you know, billionaires that want to literally extract wealth from the working class people.
Thank you. Okay, okay. So you got a few receipts under your belt, as far as you wanting to get in this game. I want to switch over to some questions about, some of the issues. Housing affordability is a top concern in the district. Name one specific bill or ordinance or mechanism you push and how it gets paid for if you're elected.
So if elected, one thing I would empower us to look at is working with other offices outside of the state. So obviously we know about the US Department of HUD, working with our Congress folks, seeing what sort of funding they have for first-time home buyers, even creating tax credits for first-time home buyers in the state of Florida. We seem to love to give tax credits to corporations and developers. So we should be giving them to our seniors as well as our first time home buyers. And I'm not talking about just a tax credit of $10,000. I'm talking about a nice hefty, at least $50,000 tax credit for first time home buyers that buy in our communities.
Mm, I heard that. I like that. If you could get that, if you could get that going. Satin, many voters hear about the legislator, but aren't sure what the job of a state rep actually entails. What is the role of a Florida state rep? What is the job?
So the job of a state rep is to create a budget. The governor, he busses everything down in different categories, different pots, and then he presents it to the legislatures, and then we attack each part of the budget, and we see what we can bring back to each district and allocate the resources appropriately.
Okay. Thank you for breaking it down because here at Hello News, we like to educate people. So we and also too, we want to know make sure the people that we're electing know what it is. So thank you for breaking that down. If
Absolutely.
elected, sorry, if elected, what are three things you like to focus on and accomplish in your first term?
So we definitely we want to focus on our first of all our renters. So in speaking to a lot of teachers, a lot of workforce housing is being created. However, this workforce housing that they're creating, there's no legislation around like said sort of specifications around what workforce housing is supposed to be. So obviously with the Live Local Act, it is preempting our local governments from being able to implement something such as rent control. So, with that being said, what I would like to do with workforce housing is work with some of these developers since we have this legislation in place right now to really I would like to submit an amendment to the Live Local Act where there's language around, let's say, okay, you're offering workforce housing, it can be no more than 30% of a person's income. So if the teachers, if they make 68,000, no more than 30% of that teacher's salary should go towards their rent. So actual policy in place that is true workforce housing and definition like as to the terms and conditions that they're supposed to be actually adhering to, not just an application fee and 1 month's rent. Like $2,400 times three, which that's typically what, when you move into an apartment, they're asking you to put down. That's a small down payment on a house. People don't have that.
Mhm.
So that would be one issue, as well as resources for our public schools. A lot of times I live with an educator. A lot of times they're coming home and they're coming out of their own pocket just to make sure that they have school supplies. They get a stipend of $300 or folks can donate towards their classrooms. But we all know our babies, they need more than just $300 worth of supplies. Sometimes it's more. Sometimes the programming, having access to the programming that you want to present to your class costs more than $300. So making sure that we have well-resourced and well-funded public schools is important to me, as well as making sure that children with exceptionalities have access to the proper paras, RBTs, and ABA therapists and speech pathologists, as well as occupational therapists, can come in and provide proper services during school hours.
Mm, okay. And
And then,
speaking. Oh, I'm sorry. Your
no, no.
third. No,
And then
that's okay. I wasn't sure if you were done speaking.
I know I can be a little long-winded, but the last would be small businesses. We're seeing a ton of small businesses across Dade County close. of course, one of the biggest issues right here in District 109 is we have a ton of businesses on 22nd Avenue stemming from anywhere from 80th to about 79th or about 82nd Street. Those businesses in that plaza, they're being choked out because of construction. No one notified these businesses that construction was coming. So we should be creating tax credits or incentivizing them to be able to stay. So whether it's we're helping them be able to remain in the current position that they're in, even working with small businesses that we hold the charter to create microloans and grant. Hello?
Hey, Satin, you still there?
Oh boy.
Hey, Satin, we can hear you. Let's see. We're gonna give
Oh.
Satin a little bit of time to get it together. Her mic is hot, so I don't want her to say something live on air. You already know it's a live internet, live broadcast, and there she is. So sometimes technical things happen, and it's okay. We keep it going. We roll with the punches. Hey, girly, you back?
I'm back. I'm back. I'm sorry. Everyone's trying to call and I'm like, guys, I already told you stop calling. Sorry. But yeah, a lot of our small businesses they're struggling right now and they need tax breaks and they would like to participate in some of the small business grant programs as well as micro loans being offered to them to just be able to sustain and buy new things for their businesses, new equipment, employ more folks in the community. So with that being said, helping our small businesses, which is the ecosystem of Miami-Dade County, that should also be a priority for us as well.
Thank you. And I was going to switch gears a little bit into education, and you touched on this. Public education continues to be one of Florida's most debated issues. What are your views on public school funding, charter schools, school choice, school vouchers, and where do you believe the legislator should focus its efforts?
We definitely should focus, first of all, children, the Phoenix curriculum that is being pushed right now on our children, which basically, that they've removed Black history from our schools, the
Mhm.
Phoenix Declaration. So that's something that needs to be repealed because first of all, Black history is American history. So making sure that our children have access to proper curriculum is important. Making sure that our teachers are properly paid is important and that they're not always having to fight for their jobs. And I mean, one of the biggest things with school vouchers is it does take away from public funding. If you would like your child to go, you have a choice. You can put your child in you can put your child in private school at your own expense. But why use taxpayers' dollars to go towards private schools when that wasn't something that we agreed on? We all know the strain and the struggles of schools located in different areas, and education and resources are not allocated the same. So, with that being said, once again, we're removing public funding and we're diverting it towards private education, and we're not there's a lack of what I find with private schools, that there's a lack of oversight with them. I can tell you, I've had to withdraw my child I withdraw my son one time from public school. It was literally
Mhm.
2 weeks. What I realized is they weren't honoring his IEP because they didn't have to. Whereas public schools, it's a legally binding document. They have to honor a child's IEP and make sure that he has the necessary resources that he's supposed to have. If our public schools are experiencing cuts and they can't properly staff our students with making sure that these powers and these experts are in the schools providing our babies with the necessary education and tools that they need, where does that leave our vulnerable population and our vulnerable schools and districts that are Title I schools? So I definitely feel the voucher program needs to be revamped. And as someone that has been in some of these groups, I'll be very frank with you. What they're using some of the money for is not necessarily for education. And I have proof of that. They're buying trips to Disney World. They're buying bunk beds and saying it's for educational. resources. And I'm like, no, that's not. That's not a criteria. Your child didn't need that new bunk bed that you're posting in this step up group. So it's very problematic, and we need some oversight over the vouchers.
Thank you for explaining that. We had a question, as you know, we're live, so people can ask
Yes.
questions and we answer them right live during our interview. And so this came from Aloye. She said she loved the microloan idea, but can we make that a grant instead of a loan?
In some cases we can. It depends on what the small bank, or even with the state, what comes in from the state and what is allocated. It depends on what that looks like. But oftentimes we just have, in our communities, we just have problems accessing loans as well. I know as a small business owner, I've had several different small businesses in my lifetime. It's sometimes it can be crediting issues. So we also want to extend it to folks that they've been consistent in having a small business and they just need some expansion. Maybe their credit worthiness is, maybe they don't have the 720 credit score. But if you have a 600, your business has been in business for 3 years, you want to add an extra employee, you want to buy that new stove or grill or equipment for your business, at least you can tap into that additional funding and qualify for it without the stringent crediting guidelines that sometimes these banks do have.
Thank you for answering that question. Switching gears a little bit, South Florida continues to face unique challenges related to transportation, infrastructure, flooding, climate resilience, and rapid development. What role should the Florida legislature play in addressing these issues, and how would you advocate for District 109?
Well, first of all, 109 is getting a data center. So we're getting an Iron Mountain data center that's going to have about 17 jobs. It's located in West Little River, and it's not far from where the Lanier homes are. So those townhomes that were built right on the old golf course, if you know, probably between 27th and 22nd Avenue off 119
Oh, over there.
in that warehouse area, they're getting a data center. Well, no one talks about the rising costs of electricity, as well as the environmental noise that it creates within the community, and even just the air quality and the water. It has been known in many communities across the southern states and rural parts of America. That is one of the biggest fights that's happening right now, that we see happening in Tennessee with Justin Pearson's election. He's running for Congress. He's been fighting against AI data centers because it's draining water. So we are already a strained infrastructure, especially in West Little River. We have a ton of homes in West Little River that are on septic. They're now transitioning to sewer. That's what a lot of that construction is that's happening now. 22nd Avenue is about. They don't need any, we don't need any more issues. Not to mention everything is high. My light bill is $369. I don't think any of us can afford anything else to go up anymore, especially when our paychecks aren't. So there needs to be legislation around these data centers and regulation, and they don't need to be in our communities close to people. Put them in space.
Mm. I feel you.
As far as
Uh,
transportation, of course,
mhm.
we know there was a report that came out that stated that Miami-Dade Transit, they may be going to, they may be cutting services, early morning services. First of all, they already started slashing some of the lines about 3 years ago. So they were already cutting lines. That's a problem for folks that use public transportation to get to and from work. We can't afford for them to cut any more of our services. So with them divesting money from adding more buses, even extending one of the major conversations we all have been having for years for those who live here, expanding the metro rail down south, giving us more, like, people don't want more buses, but we also can't afford for you to cut the services that we have early in the morning for folks to get to and from work that use public transportation. So we definitely should be investing in infrastructure and transportation. Yes, our highways are important, but we've watched this legislature redirect money from actual public transportation to fixing or allegedly fixing the highways, which I get it. One doesn't negate the other, but we still need to ensure that folks that are along that transit line, that they have access to getting to and from work in a timely manner.
What would that look like for you if elected, though, like legislation wise, advocacy wise? Because I know, like you mentioned that we need to do it, but what does that, look like in implementation for you if
What it
elected?
what it looks like is also tapping into those partnerships, working with the Department of Transportation on the federal side, looking at what that budget looks like. Also on the county side of things, we do pay into the half penny tax. That's what we pay for, was expansion of our our public transportation systems. But even just as much as speaking across the aisle, speaking to my more conservative colleagues around how important mass transit is, and organizing in their communities around it. That's something that we haven't heard a lot of folks talk about, is we continue to demonize one side, but we don't talk about what education looks like civically across the aisle to their constituents, because it also impacts them as well.
Mhm. Oh, I like how the points that you made with that, especially advocating and doing work in Republican or just non-democratic communities. Okay, okay. So my next question is: Florida has seen several major property insurance reforms. Do you believe they've gone far enough, or is more action needed?
Uh, I've heard the argument from many folks. As a homeowner, I do not support property tax reform right now, because we've already had we've already had severe cuts to our budget here in Florida. We know what's happening up in the legislature and how we didn't take funds from the president, in previous years. And we've already seen what cuts have done to our communities. I would be more concerned for our vulnerable populations in terms of what does that mean with sales tax? Sales tax here in Dade County is 7%. Could we see an increase in that? If we're upset right now about property taxes, I believe we'll also be upset about when they raise sales tax. We could also see it happen if they come up short in one area, they may also raise gas tax. So it's already a tough space that we're already in. They have not laid out enough of the plan to tell us where they're going to make up in this shortage. I don't support it. And that's from a personal standpoint as a homeowner. Not to mention our services. I don't want to see trash on the street. I don't want to know that if I'm calling for fire rescue to come, that is now the 20 minutes it might take them to get to my home. Now it may take them an hour. I could be in a life or death type of situation. That's not good for our communities, especially House District 109. We are already a stressed and strained community financially. We cannot take any more cuts.
And I'm sorry if I said property tax and not property insurance. So the question was, and I'll just rephrase it for you. Florida has seen several major property insurance reforms. Do you believe they've gone far enough, or is more action needed?
More action is needed.
Okay, and what would that look like?
Property tax. First of all, as
No, property insurance.
excuse me, property insurance. First of all, property insurance. No one talks about the level of scammery that even happens with that. And I'm just going to be very frank about it. I lived in West Little River. That's where my first home was. I was forced to have flood insurance in an area that didn't even flood. Never
Mm.
flood in the history of its existence. The house was built in 1946. My neighbors were there at least 53 years. Never had flooding. When I moved in the neighborhood, I was forced to put flood insurance on my home, which drove up the price of my mortgage. So, first of all, looking at the actual flood maps, the flood zone maps, those need to be redone first and foremost. Not to mention, we haven't had any storms down here in a very long time. I get it. It's better to have it than need it than not have it. But to be charged on an older home Most of us that have older homes, we're changing out the windows, we're putting on a new roof so our property insurance can go up, can go down. But what we're seeing is we do all this work and there's no relief. So that needs to be reevaluated. And I'm tired of paying $6,000 for property insurance. It's crazy. It's just as
Wow,
much. That's how much
that's
many people
crazy.
are paying in older homes. If you can't afford to redo, make the necessary upgrades to your home, you're paying anywhere from $24 to $6,000, and it could be more depending on the area and the square footage of your house. That needs to be reevaluated. And the fact that we don't have more insurance vendors, the only insurance that will insure me is Citizens. That's
Mm,
absolutely ridiculous. So it creates a monopoly.
it does. S- Thank you for sharing that and breaking it down. Tallahassee is Republican control. As a Democrat from your district, what's your plan to get legislation passed?
So glad you asked. Organizing in this day and time is super important. Not just organizing, of course, building relationships. I've been known as a union advocate as well as a shop steward. I have managed to organize some of the most conservative work groups, Republican, might I add, in Florida. So, with that, I definitely know how to build relationships with folks. And I know how to connect on kitchen table issues. Their communities are hurting just as much as our communities. Those rural parts of Florida, they're seeing lost in their farms. There's some of them are actually losing their farms and they see no relief in sight. So, in capitalizing on that, we're also having the same issues in urban areas. In the city parts, our issues are no different than our brothers and sisters over there down in Homestead, as far north as the Panhandle. We are all experiencing high costs and no relief in sight. So with that being said, building those relationships, also presenting stories, cases around why we should be working together to make sure that we are creating people powered policy is super important. So I definitely plan to organize on around that and as well as organize in their districts.
I really like that idea, and I think we need to do more of that.
Yes,
Um, if we invite you back 1 year after you're elected, what promise or commitment should we hold you accountable for?
you can hold me accountable to everything,
Mm,
period. At the end of the day, I represent on my regular rank as a regular shop steward, as a regular unionist, I represent 23,000 flight attendants. We advocated, legislated, and passed and negotiated a $6.3 billion contract where we are the highest paid in the industry. Also fighting for family medical leave and medical leave in different states. And also making sure that all of our flight attendants have the opportunity to have their baby paid, man or female, as well as surrogacy and
mm,
adoption. So that's the sort of policies our folks want to see. You want us to have babies, but you don't have family friendly policy around us having families. Nor do you pay us well, nor are you making sure that we can just take care of our families. I'm actually based in Baltimore, Maryland. Because I'm a Maryland worker, at the end of the day, I'm covered in a sense where I can use my sick leave to cover my children, my spouse, my mother, and my father. That should be something that Florida should be afforded to as well. And we need to fight for family medical leave, as well as, like I said, paid maternity leave. We need we should be afforded just as much as our counterparted states and different places throughout the United States of America. And like I said, as this being one of the most expensive places to live, we should be able to have a living wage, not $15 an hour. That's not going to cut it.
mm, that part. Look, Sat, and this has been an amazing conversation. Before we wrap up, can you tell people some of the neighborhoods that are in District 109 so they could get a sense of the area that you'll be representing?
So this district it's actually pretty large. So it goes from Opelika Gladview, Westview, a little part of Miami Shores, and then it comes down into Liberty City, then Alapata, as well as a small part of Wynwood. And at the end is the beautiful city. Well, not it's not a city, but it's the beautiful section of Overtown, which is a historic district as well. So that's what it covers, more so the center part, and that's what I am fighting and wanting to represent as your next state representative.
Okay, girl. Tell us in 1 minute why the people in your district should trust you with their vote.
I'm a working person that plans to fight for working class people and to restore the dignity of everyone in this district. We are often, and I keep saying this, we are often counted out, and we are usually underinvested in. And we deserve just as much as any other town, any other city or municipality around us, as far east as Miami Beach and as far west as Hialeah. We deserve just as much funding as our neighbors. And more importantly, we deserve to have nice things and beautify our communities just like our neighbors to the left and right of us. So I'm fighting for the restoration of our quality of life here in District 109.
Thank you so much, Satin Fye. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So glad we were
Thank
able
you.
to have you on. Look, I know it's the last day, but still, let people know how they could connect with you, how they can support you. I don't know if you still accepting volunteers, but let them know how they can connect with you.
All right, folks, follow us at fiveforthepeople.com. Please follow us at Five for the People. This goes beyond our campaign. Once again, we are organizing an educating platform. We will be out here civically engaged. I belong to a few civic organizations, a few union organizations. You'll see me at some of your union halls. You'll also see me at some of our astute sort of kind of organizing arms throughout the community. And I will be out here raising awareness around a lot of the issues that we're dealing with. One of them right now being food insecurity. So folks, tap in. I'm going to shamelessly plug them. The NAACP right now is definitely organizing an action around us losing three of our major grocery stores, which has created a food desert within our community. So, folks, we need you all to show up. We need you to attend your commissioner meetings. We need you to attend your when we get back in legislative session, meet us in Tallahassee. We'll be up there organizing, strategizing, mobilizing, and advocating for our needs. So please don't sit down. Don't be apathetic. We need you to get in a fight right now. Right now. Get active, as the
And
young
for the
people
web,
say.
sorry to cut you off. For the website, is it Phi the letter four or the word four? I mean the number four or the word four?
It's the word for.
Okay, I just want to put that on the screen for everyone. Fiveforthepeople.com. Thank you so much. This has been amazing, amazing, amazing. You had some supporters in the chat. I actually was in Juice to Find today doing some work. I saw all your memorabilia and posters and flyers in there. Authentic sounding words and
Thank
eloquent
you.
spoken. Edward Taylor got some love for you out there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Fiveforthepeople.com. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much. I
Thank you.
appreciate you. Look, here at High Low News, we don't tell you who to vote for. We present the candidates to you, so you guys can make the best decision for you and your family. Satin, God bless you in this race, and may the best person win. Thank you again for
Thank you
making
for
it work.
having me on, Janae. I
Yes,
appreciate it.
of course, guys. Thank you. This has been Satin Fye, candidate for House District 109. Thank you, Satin. Good
Thank you. Good night.
night. She was dope. Oh my gosh. We worked through so much to get her on. And so I'm so glad we were able to do it. And I'm glad that we were able to get her on live and give her that look. And look, there are still people who are undecided. So still, or they haven't voted yet. So send these videos, send the information to them about the candidates. Let's get these numbers up, like and share. If you have not, voted yet, you definitely want to dig in and use this as a voting guide for you to figure out who you want to represent you, who you want to lead us in this next phase of this political cycle that we're in. I see my next guest is backstage. This one is a very special one, and I wiggled and made it work because I really, really wanted to have her on. And she is the only gubernatorial candidate that we've had on this election cycle for the primary. So I definitely wanted to make this work. If she's ready to come on, give me a thumbs up backstage. And I'll bring her to the stage. But we have Rep Dotie Joseph, who is here with us. Um, we'll give her a few seconds to get ready. But yeah, if she wins, she'll make history as what the first black person, let alone black woman, if elected to Florida governor. So this is pretty historic and really important. And I'm getting text people are saying they voted for her. Like she has some motion. She has some motion going. So yeah, we definitely are excited to have her on. This is a big deal, very big deal. So if she's ready to come on, give me a thumbs up backstage. All right, all right, all right. So without further ado, y'all already know we keep it rolling over here. Our next candidate up to speak with the audience is Rep. Dotie Joseph. Hey,
Hey girl, hey.
what's up? Welcome to the show. Welcome to Hello News Can We Talk podcast. How you doing?
I am alive and well. How are you?
I'm good. Look, I know that campaign trail has been kicking all the candidates, but do you have Epsom salt? Are you taking ibuprofen? Did you lose weight knocking on doors? I've been hearing so many stories.
Listen, I'm over here just prayed up, trying to make it through tomorrow. We have less than 24 hours to go till D-Day. So we out here.
That part, that part. And I appreciate you so much for taking time to come on. I know you have a very, very busy schedule, but I appreciate you for seeing the importance of coming on to the Hilo News platform. So thank you so much.
And thank you for having me. Thank you for the awesome platform. Thank you for all the work that you do, because it's important for us to tell our stories.
Thank you so much. Look, and Miss Joseph, before we get into all the questions, if this is people's first time meeting you, tell them who you are when the cameras aren't rolling. Like, let's introduce them to who you
Who
are.
I am. Okay. So I'll run through just a little bit of my background for folks who don't know me. I was born in Haiti, raised in the county of Dade, public schools all throughout. For elementary school, went to Charles Drew, Lakeview. Some of the best and worst schools Miami-Dade County had to offer. Norland Middle, and graduated from design and architecture senior high. My background is in fine arts. Okay, so that's one piece. A lot of people may not know that unless you know me. So that's that part. Growing up, there were only like a handful of professions that were allowed, or not even allowed, but like the menu to pick from. Doctor, lawyer, engineer, nurse, maybe professor, like that's it. So the one I tested out early on was law. In high school, I interned at the Miami-Dade Public Defender's Office. And this was back in the days of the crack cocaine epidemic. And there were a lot of people going to jail that just needed medical attention. And I wrote off being a lawyer because I didn't want any part of that criminal injustice system, or so I thought. So that was my first foray into something. I went to Yale undergrad, studied hard, made it to some decent schools. Okay. While I was there, I interned for a congressman, and in the district office, I fell in love with constituent services, really helping solve people's problems through government, making the agencies work for you, all of that stuff. So I learned a lot about how to make government work for us rather than against us. So from there, they invited me to work on Capitol Hill for the summer, and I was hella excited. I went, and let's just say I got a front row seat to see how our democracy didn't actually function. I was totally disillusioned, and I was like, yeah, tripping. So I wrote off politics. Took some time off after college. And during that time off, I had the opportunity to do some interesting things. I interned with former President Jimmy Carter in Atlanta. So not while he was president. I'm not that old, but
I was gonna say Jimmy Carter. How?
No, but at the Carter Center, which still exists to this day. And I can tell you, this man and his wife restored my faith in what a public servant could be. People who are out there doing the work because of just wanting to help people, not self-aggrandizement, which is rare these days. And he had nothing to prove. He had already been president, right? So he was literally out there just helping people make their lives better. So from there, I did another program in The Hague in mediation and conflict resolution, and then decided, my mentors were like, listen, you're passionate about human rights and civil rights. You really need to consider law school. So remember, I written that off, but I sucked it up, put on my big girl drawers, and I took my butt to law school. And I went to Georgetown in DC. So at Georgetown, I focused on, civil rights and human rights. A lot of my friends were making big bucks at fancy firms. I am not mad at that, but that was not my calling. So I interned at the United States Department of Justice's Civil Rights Division. I interned at the National Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights under the law doing voting rights stuff. I co-authored the manual that was used for a long time for nonprofits to register voters, okay? And then over the summers, I would do stuff with human rights, mostly with refugees. I worked with refugees from Sudan in Egypt at the UNHCR. I worked with refugees from the Congo and Uganda, and that was through another refugee organization. So a lot of these conflicts that people are just learning about, I've been involved in, whether we're talking about civil rights or, human rights. Like, I'm not new to this, I'm true to this, okay? So graduated from law school, clerked for a federal judge, second African-American chief judge they had in DC. I went on to work at a small boutique civil rights firm where we litigated employment discrimination class actions all around the United States, some of which I wrote some briefs that took us all the way up to the Supreme Court, and I unapologetically kicked butt. I came back home to serve, became the first Black attorney to work at the city of North Miami Beach. I was assistant city attorney, deputy city attorney, and the interim city attorney. Went on to be a partner at a law firm. So while I was there, this is how the politics came back into the picture. People kept asking me to run for office, and my answer was not just no, but like, let me use the PG version. Absolutely not. Okay. So, so with that, but people kept asking, and then I had a series of car accidents that made me reevaluate my life. I was already a public servant, job with low six-figure income and a pension, immigrant mom's dream. But I knew I could be doing more. I knew I could be helping more people. So I decided, okay, I would eventually run for office, not right away, but at some point. It wasn't on the front burner, it was on the back burner. It was at some point. Fast forward, an opportunity presented itself. I ended up running for office, serving in the seat that I'm currently serving in now. And I've been in the legislature for the past 8 years, including serving as my Democratic Minority Leader Pro Tem. And I know a lot of people don't know what that means. So in the legislature, you have the Speaker of the House, you have the Leader of the House. So the Speaker represents the majority party, the Leader is the minority party, and they each have a pro tempore. That's like their second in command. So I was second command of the Democratic Party in the Florida House. Anyway, so that's kind of that background. Now I can get into some of my record because I got a lot of stuff done in the legislature, but I don't want to debo your interview.
I mean, all of that stuff, it matters. But we'll get back to it because I want to, talk to you about why you're running for Florida governor. Why are you deciding that now is the right time to run?
Correct. Okay. So why I'm running is one question. Why now is a different question. So the why I'm running is, as the daughter of a pastor and a nurse, I was raised to care for and stand up for people. And that's why I'm running. Bottom answer is for the people. Right now, we live in a time where there's a lot of things going on that's attacking the Black community, the immigrant community, lots of communities, people who just care about like equality and diversity and inclusion. And justice and freedom. I feel like all of those things are under attack right now. So I think it's important that we have leaders who understand the assignment in this instance and are not afraid to stand up, speak up, and not afraid to work across the aisle and get things done, because that's a rare combination, right? So I know what I bring to the table. I know nobody in the race, Democrat or Republican, brings what I bring to the table. I have experience in all three branches of government and all three levels of government. I know how to make the government work for us. And right now it ain't working for us. So I want to change that. Now I have three priorities as to why I'm running. Number one is I want to make Florida affordable for all. And I know people throw that, affordable around a lot, but what that looks like for me is I have actual concrete plans to address ways to lower the cost of gas, groceries, housing, healthcare, and insurance. These are not just talking points. I've actually filed legislation. You could check them out. And I'm happy to get into them, but I have real plans to get this stuff done. So that's number one. Number two, to protect our civil rights and what's left of our democracy. And then number three, which is not complicated but unusual for a politician to say, which is less hate and more love. Right now, there's a lot of like drama, fear mongering, all of that stuff. And, you know, I was not raised to hate. I was taught to love thy neighbor. So what that looks like for me is enough of the culture wars and foreign wars. I want to focus on us. I want to focus on our real needs and taking care of our real needs. You know, at the federal government level, they're trying to get rid of, you know, important programs like Medicare and Social Security. Meanwhile, you know, people are going to start feeling that if they haven't already here in Florida. We have a significant senior population. The people are going to be most impacted by those programs, and the cuts to the ACA and the big ugly bill are going to be our elder population, our veterans, and low income people and people with disabilities. They're going to feel the brunt of it. So we need somebody in place at the state level who understands that and has a safety net ready for our community so that we can be cared for. And that's important to me. So whether we're talking about care for in terms of that or making sure that our babies have food to eat when they go to schools, I filed legislation to make sure that every kid who needs it has free breakfast and lunch, right? You know, things that to me seem basic, but for some reason people have an issue with them. But these are some of the things that I am trying to make sure that we take care of.
Thank you. Just switching gears a little bit, you're running in a crowded Democratic primary, and David Jolly has received significant attention as a former Republican now running as a Democrat. Excuse me. What separates you from Jolly and the other Democrats in this race, and why should Democratic voters choose you?
Sure. I mean, in terms of Jolly and I, our legislative records are completely different. His is as a Republican, and mine is obviously as a Democrat. So most of the issues that are important to us, you pick any issue, there is likely going to be a distinction between us. That's a long time ago. The argument is, you know, he is different, and I welcome that, right? I welcome people having a change of their views and all of that stuff. But it's one thing to just register as a Democrat. It's another thing to lead the party. But all being told, he's been in the race. Most of the people have been in the race for way longer than I have, over a year, right? Maybe a year and a half. I've only been in the race for literally 2 months. But the only reason I got in the race was because Mayor Demings, Congresswoman Val Demings' husband, had to get out of the race. And people had asked me to run. And, you know, the more I learned about what was going on, the more I thought it was important for us to have an additional option. So that's what propelled me getting into the race, is just to make sure that we have a primary where people have an option of choosing somebody who can do the job from day one. Now, is there enough runway? We're going to find out tomorrow. But nobody can't say that I didn't do what I could do in this time that I had with what we were able to accomplish, which is quite a bit in this little bit of time. I'm getting messages from all around the state of people who are grateful that I'm in the race, that they have an option, and that they were excited to vote for me. So either way, however things pan out, we want to make sure that we have somewhat of a fighting chance going into the general election, because the numbers in Florida are rough, right? Like, we can just be honest about that. We are out registered. So the person who wins is going to need to be able to appeal to people across both political parties, but even more important is the bigger middle, the NPAs. And I think we're at a point right now where people are starting to see that there is more that unites us beyond the things that they try to divide us with, whether we're talking about skin color or political party. It's the same 1% that are causing drama for all of us. And the sooner we recognize that and think about the policies that we all vote for, the better we will all be.
That part. Just switching gears a little bit, let's talk about some of the issues that, you know, a lot of residents of just Florida, or Florida residents are talking about, and affordability is one of them. And it's a major part of your campaign. Floridians are dealing with high rent, groceries, utilities, and everyday expenses. What can a governor realistically do to bring down the cost of living, and what would you prioritize first?
Sure. So there are lots of things that we can do. I had proposed, I'll give you 2 examples. The Healthy Florida Act. One of the things that it does is it essentially provides universal health care for every Floridian. And what that looks like it's crazy to me that we live in the so-called richest country in the world, and we don't take care of our people. And every other developed country in the world has some kind of plan for universal health care except for us,
Mhm.
which is wild. So imagine if you didn't have to pay for all of that at the same level. It would cover and limit the cost of your premiums. So you don't have to decide between, am I going to pay for my medication or get my groceries, right? So that's one thing. In terms of housing, I have so many plans for housing, and a lot of them are included in a bill that I happen to have filed called the Real Affordable Housing Act. I'm just going to highlight a few things from there. But one of the things it does is it limits the amount of single family homes that institutional buyers like private equity firms and hedge funds can purchase, because they don't actually care if somebody lives in the house or not. They're just getting something to add to their balance sheet. We want people to actually be able to live in their homes. So this is something that we have seen done with a lot of other states. And even at the federal level, Senator Warnock was able to get this done. And it didn't get a whole lot of traction here, but also to limit the amount of increases that homeowners insurance companies can do, because it's been out of control. I want to empower our consumer advocate to do that. As governor, I would also have authority with the Office of Insurance Regulation to address some of those funny business games that happen with a lot of our insurance companies. I also want to make sure that our local governments have more flexibility in how they can address different policies to help alleviate rent, and to also establish land banks to convert properties so that they can become more affordable units that people can have for the longer term. So those are just some examples. I mean, I could go in like when I tell you I have real plans, I'm not just making stuff up. Like, these are things that are actually filed long before I was running for governor that address some of these issues.
I mean, just like Edward said in the chat, you definitely are talking about your receipts and deliverables. So I
Oh,
appreciate
and
you for
gas.
breaking that down.
People
Mhm.
talk about gas. I had filed legislation to eliminate or lower the price of gas in the state of Florida, because there is a state sales tax. So that is something. I mean, there's so many things. As governor, I propose the budget, right? So I decide what gets funded, what gets not funded, and that those policy decisions will lead into the budget decisions so that we can have a better quality of life for Floridians.
Thank you. That's what's up. My next question is, property insurance has become one of the biggest financial burdens facing Florida homeowners, while renters are also feeling those costs passed down to them. What specifically would you do as governor to address Florida's property insurance crisis?
Well, part of that will depend on what happens with this amendment, because the amendment is going forward so far. I know the Florida Supreme Court ruled that part of the issue was going to be the language. They have to rework the language because the current language was super misleading. And people were not going to know what they're voting for, because the current version does not protect local services like police, fire, etc. It only protects education. It makes the other services allowable expenses, but not protected. One of
Oh,
the,
okay.
yeah, so that's a difference, right?
Thank you for,
And
I don't think I've heard it in that way. So thank you for sharing that with us.
you're welcome. Like, when you get into the details, it does not protect our local services. So basically, what we're doing, if we pass that amendment, is we're giving the power of the purse to Tallahassee to dictate our local spending, which is problematic for me because Tallahassee ain't nothing nice when it comes to how they divvy up resources between Democratic areas and non-Democratic areas. You will see that we are severely underfunded in general as compared to other parts of the state. And a lot of that is just how the legislature does it. And then on top of that, if you have a Republican governor, you know, of late, there has been a lot of that kind of gamesmanship. That's not always the case, but that has been the case quite a bit. So that's not necessarily something we want. Now, in terms of what I would offer differently, I want to make sure that we raise the cap at a certain level, so that maybe it's the first 300,000 that is not taxed, and then beyond that, it can be taxed. That way, the billionaires are paying their fair share of taxes, right? But in any event, I don't want it so that you lose your home because of property taxes. That is problematic for me, because home ownership is a form. It's one instrument that we have to help build generational wealth. And I don't want when people start playing games, and there are people who play games with property taxes, to be able to increase it to the point that people can't afford to pay the tax and then they end up losing the actual home. That is problematic for me, at least for the homestead house, right? If you need to figure out something else for your investment properties, that's a whole different ballgame. But for your homesteaded house, we want to make sure that you have a home. There's no reason that property taxes needs to be the reason that somebody becomes homeless.
Mm. And is there a way to get reform when it comes to insurance rates in the state of Florida? And is that something that the governor can assist with?
Yeah, there are lots of ways to address that. A couple of ideas I've had is in terms of making a regional compact or national compact to help spread the risk. So that would eventually lower costs down. In addition to that, we had a whole report that was done by the legislature of the funny business that happens with insurance companies, some of which is some of the shell games that they play. They'll have subsidiary companies. Now, this is not all of them. This is some of them. They'll put the profits in one company and the losses in another, and they'll send the profits out of state, and it'll go to things like CEO bonus pay and such. But in the meantime, you have people who are sitting here claiming losses and bankruptcy here in Florida. So that's problematic for me, right? I want to make sure that corporations are paying their fair share and they're not leaving homeowners holding the bag.
Thank you.
You're
You're a wealth
welcome.
of knowledge. Like,
I mean, I could talk
I,
more, but I'm trying to, give you some succinct answers.
no, I appreciate, but even in that, it's still like very meaty, very,
Yes,
very
ma'am.
meaty responses, and I appreciate that. Um, my next question is about, your time you spent in the Florida legislature. You spent many years there serving. What is one thing you've learned from serving in Tallahassee that you believe would make you a better governor? And where do you believe state government is currently failing Floridians?
I have learned a number of things. So let me answer the first question first.
Mhm.
One of the things that I've learned in serving with the legislature is there are times where you need to stand up and speak up regardless. And there are times where you need to figure out how to work across the aisle. And it's important to be able to develop those muscles and skills. And it takes two to tango, right? You can't do it by yourself. You need the other side to want to work with you. But what that looks like is I've been able to accomplish some very meaningful legislation in the Florida legislature. So I'll give you a couple of examples. After the murder of George Floyd, I pulled together a roundtable of lots of community organizations and law enforcement agencies. So everybody from the NAACP to Black Lives Matter and different police organizations, the Black Bar Associations had a representative each, and we all put our band power and brain power together to come up with ideas to really make some changes, not just in terms of criminal justice reform, but across the board. And I brought a lot of those with me to the Black Caucus in the legislature, and we decided which ones we would be pushing for. So from that contributed to a lot of what we have in terms of the legislation that we passed in the criminal justice reform omnibus bill. So with that bill, we saw that we were able to work across the aisle to do things like make sure that there's a duty to intervene, to revise chokehold standards and training methods, to have a minimum age of arrest, because we know that that was impacting our babies because they were just arresting them at various ages. So, there are certain things we were able to put in place because of that, and taking the leadership, because it's one thing to be out there protesting. It's another thing to change it, put it into actionable policy that will be sustaining, right? So that's an example. Another example is, I'll give you one. One of my first bills that I passed was for survivors of violence, domestic violence in particular. A lot of times when women, and it's not just women, but it's mostly women, are trying to leave a domestic violence situation, they are able to, the two biggest concerns are, where am I going to live and how am I going to provide for myself and my family? The where am I going to live, usually they can find a family member, a friend, or maybe even a shelter to take them in, right? But then the money, the perpetrator likely knows where they work, right? So are they going to hide out? And we saw even here in Florida where, there was a situation where the woman had left and the guy showed up at Publix and shot up the place. So employers understand, the necessity of some of this stuff too. So I was able to negotiate an exception to the unemployment compensation bill. So basically, if you normally quit your job, you don't qualify for unemployment, right? Because you voluntarily left. So this creates a policy exception whereby if you're leaving because of that and it's documented, then you can still qualify for unemployment compensation while you're looking for another job. So that's an example of something else I was able to get done in the legislature. And I can give you lots more. Like there was Dontrell Stevens, a colleague of mine, Mike Gellin, who is running out in Tamarack. Shout out to Mike. If you see him on there, bubble him in. But he had reached out about a young man who was a police brutality victim, had been shot in the back and paralyzed. He did everything he was supposed to do. He filed the claim, went to litigation, got a judgment of $6 million, but they didn't have to pay out because of the cap on damages. The cap is $200,000 to $300,000. Now, if you get a claims bill passed through the legislature, you can exceed the cap and get access to that judgment. At the time we brought this bill years ago, I teamed up with a colleague who is a Republican in the legislature, or at least he was, and we were able to get one of the first claims bills passed in recent history. So before we got that one done, there were maybe 15 total that had passed in the entire history of the Florida legislature. Now they're a lot more common, but we were the ones who opened up that particular one that gave this young man access to that judgment. So the point is, you need to learn to work across the aisle and figure out what's important to your community and push those things. So part of that is working with people, but the other part of it is, how do you organize your community when they have concerns and things that they're working for, to be able to do it in a positive way that actually turns into something.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for breaking it down. My next question is, Florida has been at the center of major debates over public education, including school funding, teacher pay, book restrictions, and how race and Black history are taught. What would education policy look like under a Governor Dotie Joseph?
Well, we would get rid of that PragerU foolishness. We are not trying to tell our kids that somehow slavery was good. That's wild. We would eliminate all of that political brainwashing, whitewashing agenda, and get back to actually preparing our kids. We get out of the business of culture wars and get back into the business of actual education. And what that looks like for me is education across the board. Regardless of where you're going to school, I want to make sure that all schools are held to the same standards in terms of teacher certifications, so our kids are actually getting a quality education. So it's not a grift for people to be able to pay, real estate that they happen to have the school on, right? Because there's a lot of that happening. I want to make sure that our kids actually get an education so that they can compete in this global economy instead of the foolishness that I'm seeing. So that would be off rip.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Another question I have is around rapid mass transit and also to connectivity with major cities in Florida. What role does the governor play in transportation and connecting, major markets in the state? And if elected to the governor's office, what policies or initiatives would you champion to make Florida more connected? Because I feel like it should be easier for us to get around the state, and it's not. And of course, we know rapid mass transit is just an issue for us here in South Florida, but definitely interested to know what your thoughts are around connectivity when it comes to transportation around the state.
Sure. So the Department of Transportation is one of the state agencies which would fall under my purview as governor. And we can talk about different priorities of what that would look like. There are certain private partnerships, there's public partnerships, and deciding whether we want to make it more public focused or private focused or some kind of combination would be something that we're looking like. I would love to be able to connect different parts of the state so that can boost tourism and cultural education, because there are things that happen in St. Augustine that I think people in South Florida would love to know about. There's a lot of opportunity to be able to do that, but I need people in place who understand the necessity of that and the value of that, so that we can put together some plans to be able to increase that connectivity. One thing I'm definitely not going to do is to break up certain communities, which has been a policy that has existed in the United States for some time. So that would, to the extent that any of that is going on, that's not going to be happening. And as projects are impacting local communities, I want to make sure that there's enough communication so people understand what's happening in their neighborhoods. I know here in South Florida, there are times that some decisions are made and it's not fully communicated and it causes problems. So I want to make sure that those kinds of things are addressed on the front end rather than as a complaint after the fact.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Another question I have is around immigration. Florida has a large immigrant population, including Haitian, Caribbean, and Latino communities that have been directly affected by changes in immigration policies and programs like TPS. We all been talking about that hot button issue.
Mm-hmm.
While immigration is largely a federal issue, what role should Florida's governor play in protecting immigrant families and communities?
So, in general, I think Florida needs to get out of the business of immigration anything. We should not be involved in immigration enforcement. These 287 agreements, every time they show up or anything along those lines on the budget side, I have voted against them as a state representative. And right now, intertangled in law is the requirement for certain counties to participate in these agreements, but all the other entities under the state purview don't necessarily need to participate. So that's something I want to revisit. In addition to that, we see in other states where you have a Democratic governor, different things that you can do to protect the people. And that protection looks like making sure that the law applies to everybody, that everybody has due process, that even the agents are following the law as they should, right? And making sure that we're holding them accountable. I can't say that that is necessarily happening right now in our state. But as governor, that would be one of my top priorities, is to make sure that people are treated fairly as we go through whatever it is that we're going through for however long we have to go through it.
Thank you. And you broke up a little bit just the last few seconds. So I just want to give you a chance to be able to finish your thought.
Okay, where did it end?
It was just like the last few words.
Okay, so the point is, I just want to make sure that people are protected, that their rights are respected, and we don't have lawlessness on any side of the equation.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And my next question, we talked about the Republican control of the Florida legislature. Florida legislator. Florida has become increasingly, Republican in recent elections. If you win the Democratic nomination, what is your strategy for winning statewide, particularly with Black voters, younger voters, independents, and Floridians who may feel disconnected from the Democratic Party?
Sure. So my strategy is simple. Speak to the needs of people. When we look at how people vote, whether it's increasing the minimum wage or any of these other quote unquote progressive issues, Democrats, Republicans, and independents overwhelmingly vote in favor of it. I'm just going to lean into that because there is more that unites us than what divides us. That's really going to be my focus. And it's been resonating with people. I've been to a couple forums, one where there are 2 Democrats and 2 Republicans. And during the course of the forum, one of the Republicans was yielding their time to me because they liked what I was saying and they wanted to hear more. And then after that same forum, the other Republican came up and talked to me, and she wanted to stay in touch and talk about ideas because she thought I had a lot of great ideas. So, I'm the kind of candidate that if you put me in front of people, I actually am coming with solutions. I'm not here for decoration. I'm here to get things done. And I think that resonates with people once they're actually able to sit down and listen. And I connect with people in that way. So I think that that would basically be my strategy on to the next phase. So yeah, and I'm going to have to wrap up. I have like 5 pending calls and 2 meetings that I'm a little bit late for.
Well, that was our last question, actually.
Perfect.
So thank you so much. And before you go, just let people know why they deserve your vote as Florida governor for the Democratic primary.
Okay, I'm just going to say we deserve nice things too. I feel like we've been on the struggle bus in Florida under this Republican trifecta for nearly 3 decades. And what has it gotten us? Everything is less affordable. People are looking to leave because we can't afford to stay here anymore. And it doesn't have to be that way. This is a result of specific decisions that are made or not made that are not made in our best interest. They are made in the interest of a select few who are giving the campaign contributions and all the other drama that exists here. And we can put an end to that. We can have nice things too. We can turn the page on what this has been, and we can have a different Florida, one that we're proud of, one where we actually love thy neighbor and we take care of one another. It doesn't have to stay this way. Like, think about anything that's bothering you the most about Florida right now, whatever that is. And I promise you, there's a direct policy decision and action that is leading to that we can change, and we can change together. But I need your support in order to do that. Tomorrow, August 18th, is the last day. If you have not already voted, you didn't have a reason to vote, I'm asking you for your vote humbly, to think about what's bothering you and help me help you fix it. Right? And it's really that simple. And unlike a lot of other races you may have heard, you can vote for me anywhere in the state of Florida. So if you have friends, family, let them know there's this girl out here and she's out here running for governor, and she is the truth. She has real plans. She's the real deal, and she's trying to get some things done. So, text, call, let people know. Find your local precinct tomorrow. It's not the early vote locations normally. You can either vote at your local supervisor of elections or find your local precinct. It's going to be on your voter registration card. If you don't know, you can call the supervisor of elections to figure that out. If you have any problems voting on election day, there are attorneys on standby at 866 our vote to help you address any issues like that may come up, if we see it. But it's 866 our vote, and they can assist with, addressing, let's say you're deleted from the data roll, the voter rolls, for something crazy like that. You can vote provisional, all that stuff. So point is, we're here to support. I'm asking for your vote. Dotie Joseph, look for me under governor and hit it up. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. You got a few fans in the chat that said they voted for you.
I
I'm
appreciate y'all.
yes, I'm gonna say it publicly. You got my vote. I mean, why wouldn't I vote for the black lady? And she's so competent and so qualified. So I'm saying it. I have not said who I'm voting for in any race. I'm voting for Dottie Joseph. So y'all heard it
Thank
here
you,
first, and I
darling.
haven't voted yet. I vote tomorrow.
Let's go.
Thank you
Let's
so
go.
much. Yes, I know you got to run. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you for supporting local Black-owned, woman-owned, independent media here in South Florida. And thank you so much. God bless on your race. And yeah, hopefully we see the W by your name tomorrow.
And thank you for all you got going on. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Good
All
night.
right. Have a good night.
You too. Man, she was dope. I'm like, just the receipts, the way man, she got my vote. I was like, I could vote for a black lady and she's smart. And I've always heard like how smart Dottie is. Like, I've heard that from so many people. So it makes sense. So that number she was telling you about, like, 866 our vote. If you need just some information for your voter, if you haven't voted yet, like me. Yeah, JJ, I don't know if you voted yet in Orlando, but let's get our girl. Let's get our girl on the thing. I'm voting for her. I'm sorry. And here's the thing, and I realized, I remember when she announced her candidacy. So Jolly and Byron Donalds did have a year head start, and she just announced a couple of months ago. And so I'm hoping that she made a lot of headway and got across the state and crisscrossed and got to the major pockets. I hope she wins. In the very least, she better win a Dade and Broward. Y'all bet. Here's the thing. I feel like you get Dade and Broward, you kind of won. So I'm hoping we show up for her. She was amazing. I'm late to the show, but I met Fye at Caleb Center. I look forward to her rise. Yeah, she did a great, great interview. I'm gonna be up all night, y'all. I'm gonna edit this video. I got the videos from last week. I'm gonna get the last little minute clips out. I'm gonna do a day of election guide. I'm gonna just not go to sleep tonight. That's just what we do. Yeah, I'm like, I have not announced who I'm voting for. But for her, I don't care. Here's the other thing too. Jolly and Byron Byron has been doing a little bit, but Jolly ain't really been campaigning down here. It's been kind of like he just got it in the bag. Have y'all seen David Jolly anywhere? Has he decided, did he even attempt to come into, especially our communities down here in South Florida? I never heard of him coming down here and doing nothing. So why you want us to vote for you? You ain't even feel like it was prudent for you to come and even ask for our vote. I'm not giving it to you for this primary. She could, I don't even want to say the G word, Gillum. I mean, well, I don't say it. Gillum was the hope and the dream of the slave, and we see, he having some issues, and I was holding on hope for a long time. Even after the bathroom incident, I still would have voted for Gillum. Dotie has a different energy. I think we need to be rallying behind her and giving her that support and getting her through the primary so she can make it to the general election. And I think she has a good shot. I think she has a good shot at it. I've been hearing a lot of people saying, look, I'm a vote for her because it's a black woman, a talented, smart, educated black woman running for office. Like, why wouldn't I give her my support? So what I look like sitting up here saying I'm finna vote for David Jolly. What I look like saying that. And here's the thing, y'all can vote for whoever you want to vote for. I'm voting for Dotie. I'm voting for Miss Joseph. And honestly, that was my first time having a verbal conversation with her. I think we've met maybe once or twice in person. But just to hear her wealth of knowledge, you could tell she's an attorney. She's so like we meet. Come on, Angie. Can y'all imagine Angie Nixon and Dotie and Ashley Gant? Can y'all imagine all these women, black women, beautiful, talented black women's at the thing? Come on. Come on, people. I love Dotie, but damn, Desmond is my ace. Look, here's the other thing too. We're gonna have Desmond after the primary because he's running independent. And so since we have a closed primary, it's only Democrat and Republicans voting tomorrow, right? So we're gonna have Desmond on after the primary, and he's a dope choice too, right? May the best person win. Dotie has my vote for tomorrow, and then for the general, we just gonna pray and tootsie roll, and maybe one of our eyes could get in there. But Florida, we need to shake it up. We need to do some things, and I'm hoping that this primary election has awakened the people who do grassroots organizing and voter education, because the turnout is super low. We already know for midterms that's generally what it is. But girl, we got to figure out why. We got to be like, why are we okay with such low voter turnout? Like, we got to be like, why are we okay with that? So it's a little bit of us in here tonight. Hey, what's up, Marlon? It's a little bit of us in here tonight. I feel like we can have a little intimate conversation. Y'all can share it. And I know the people who watching on replay could get it, but y'all want to get into some predictions for tomorrow? Y'all want to know my thoughts? And I've been getting some information about exit polls. So let's just get into it. Let's just dip and do it. So we'll start. I ain't gonna start at the top. I already know y'all want to talk about Congressional District 24 and predictions. Here's the thing. Y'all can say who y'all think gonna win the races. Y'all can say it. We talking about predictions. We don't know until all the votes are counted, right? So this is all predictions. This is all commentary. This is all, opinion. We don't know what God got for the election results. We are just saying based off of whatever research, whatever opinions, or whatever chatter, we talking our predictions or what we personally want. For me, I'm going to go based off of like just what I've heard and what I've seen from the energy of social and people around town and what I've seen at the polls. So what the energy like in District 20, watching from New York. Amy, what's up, Joseph Hunt? Anybody by Debbie? Okay, Joseph. Hey, Ashley gonna win. Okay. So let's go by race. We're gonna start at I hate to say bottom, but we're gonna say local municipalities, cities. So Miami Gardens. Predictions. Paul Wilson, Miami Gardens seat 2. Paul Wilson versus Laverne Deer. And it's another lady in the thing. She came in last minute. I'm sorry. I don't know this lady name. Paul Wilson predicted to win 51, predicted to get 50 plus 1%. That's Frederica Wilson's son. Gave a great interview. He's the favorite going into it. So we predicting him. We predicting Paul. Y'all with me? Y'all with me? And to any other candidates, this is not a hit at you. These are just predictions, okay? Some of y'all be so sensitive. Don't be sensitive with this. We are just predicting. We having a little bit of fun. All right. Y'all like and share. I think y'all gonna like this. I'm gonna chop this up too and be messy. I'm dropping this shit before. I'm dropping this before the election results. What energy, like in District 20, walking from New York? Anybody but Debbie? Oh, you want us to just jump to that, Joseph? Debbie is predicted to win. Sorry. She got the momentum. She had the money. She got the support. Even though I would like to see Luke or Dale or Sheila, any of them three to me would be great. But right now, the people is predicting Debbie Wasserman Schultz to win. Predictions, commentary. This is not fact. This is not fact. These are predictions based off of energy and things I've been told. Okay. So sorry, Joseph, but they saying Debbie gonna take it home. Here's the thing. Some of these I'm proven wrong. I would like to see Congressional District 20 remain with Black leadership, but child, the way the people don't. They said Debbie don't bought them people with Popeyes coupons and chicken dinners and they said she don't. Also, too, the people say they like her. The people say they like her in District 20. So her, allegedly, Debbie allegedly paying for the vote, and people liking her. And let's be clear, 60% of that district is non-Black. Child, she slid up in Tootsie Roll all the way with that vote. Predictions. But that's what the energy is saying. Okay, yes, Paul should take it. Predictions. We won't break 20% voter turnout. Prove me wrong. Yeah, I'm predicting. I think what we at now was something like 10%. Honestly, if we get to 15, I'd be surprised. So sadly, and Marlon, we've talked about this. I'm F the candidates, I'm deeply concerned about voter turnout, and I am deeply concerned about the role that Black media plays in that and what we can do better to help improve those numbers. And I think every especially Black institutions and social and civic engagement institutions should be focusing on engagement and voter education, because a lot of the issues that we have as communities, um Black people, low income people, minority groups, it's because of our lack of participation in the civic process. And I know a lot of us feel like it's rigged, our vote don't count. I understand the sentiment, but we got to push past that and understand that it does count and it's necessary. And a lot of the issues that you have and the woes you have and could be solved with voting for the right people who could do right by you. Okay. So yeah, I agree with you. I predict that voter turnout won't go past 20%. Let me see. Praying anybody Black. If she wins, there will be no Black representation in Florida. Unacceptable. APAC pro Israel Debbie. I mean, only District 20 will have. I mean, District 24 will have a Black. It will be the sole lone congressperson from District 24, because more than likely who I think not everybody in that race is Black, but the strong front runners are Black. And I don't, it'll be a cold day in hell if District 24 turns anything, elects anything but a Black representative. It's just the numbers won't allow it. Okay, y'all ready for the next race in Miami Garden? Debbie does not live in District 20. Come on, voters, show up and vote. I agree. We don't talk about that ad nauseum, that she lived out in Weston. She was representing them people in hopscotch across over to District 20. So the next race in Miami Gardens, we predicting when we going with Makita Cherry Prime, and that's Rod Mack. That's Miami Gardens Council seat 4. Predictions. Oh, and Angela Winter. Predictions is who gonna win? Who gonna win? Honestly, I don't think nobody wins tomorrow is going to go to a runoff. That's my prediction. That's my prediction. And I actually do think that Rod Mack probably will edge Makita out a little bit more with more votes. And what we'll see in the general election is, will the people who voted for Angela go over to Rod? And here's the thing, Rod and Angela have a really good working relationship. And honestly, now even too, Makita and Rod they become more amicable and friendly in the race. It was a little friction in certain points, but they're better. But the thing is this. Look, I'm gonna just have to have some conversation, because none of this is personal, but it's just going off of what is. I'm gonna just fucking say it. Y'all know what I mean. Y'all know what I mean by it. Makita this is what the streets are saying, was possibly hurt by her affiliation with Oliver's camp. And we're going to get into all of that as well. So that's the only reason why I'm saying that Rod may edge her out in the general election. But tomorrow, I don't think there's a clear winner. I think it goes to a vote, to a runoff. Sadly, but I asked at work, and a lot of people not vote. And I know I'm so sick of it. At this point, we need to come together and figure out what we need to do to increase that number, even if it's by 10%, 5%, just increase. I think for me, my personal mission now, like I'm obsessed with it. Like I've been thinking about it, especially since I've been seeing the voter turnout numbers come out. I've been obsessed with how can I help increase voter turnout. And I've already even started putting things in motion, and it's going to be coalition building and working with different people, working with Republicans and independents. Like I have this plan in my head that it's almost going to be probably like my life work to increase voter turnout in South Florida and overall the state of Florida, because this is ridiculous, right? Super ridiculous. What's up, Tony Terry? Hey. So, okay, y'all good with my predictions for Miami Garden C4? We finna move on. We finna move on. Oh, let me see. Because some of these names I want to get it. I want to get the names right. Candidates. Let's do state rep seat 109. Candidates for Florida State Rep 109. No, let's start with 108. Candidates for Florida State Rep 108 2026. Let's see if we get all of that up, because I want to make sure we list them. Okay. Oh, this was a good one. We had these two of these candidates on the show. Let's see. So many races in Miami are not fast enough to keep up. Therefore, you're sure it's important to inform voters. Thank you, Joseph. We trying our best. Antioch was on fire this past Sunday. Dr. Moise and Oliver was in the building. Meat Mill was at 7 a.m. service. They was making their rounds. Oliver was at Jesus People. That's my home church. I saw him there as well. So y'all ready to get into predictions of Florida House seat 108. And so Daphne Campbell, who was on the show, y'all gave her good energy. Dinah Escarment was on the show as well. Y'all gave her good energy too. And this is actually Dotie Joseph's seat. So she's who's running for governor. She's, not seeking reelection for this seat to run for governor. So let's see who else. It's another candidate in there too. So Peter Walsh is the other Democrat, and Juancito Francios is the Republican. So he's going to automatically win that the Republican nomination. So my predictions in this. So let me give y'all the candidates again. It is, and this is just all. It's Daphne Campbell, Dinah Escarment, Peter Walsh, Juancito Francis. And so my predictions in this, and this is just going off of a vibe. I don't even got no information on this, so don't even take this. This ain't even scientific. Daphne Campbell. And I'm going with that. And I like Dinah. And the Dinah wins. That'll be good. The reason why I'm going with Daphne is because she already has the name recognition and the track record, and she didn't leave office out of like scandal. It was because her son was murdered, right? I know there are certain hit pieces and things that came out against her. And also too, I think just switching gears to Dinah, I think she's good, like I think she'll be capable, right? Okay, so did y'all vote for Dinah? These are my predictions. So y'all predicting Dinah wins? Because y'all saying hope. I'm just going off of vibe with this one. This is just vibe. This is vibe. What seat Buddy with the backyard from last weekend? Oh, with the nice backyard, he's running for county commission seat 2. We'll get into that one. Okay. So that's the one prediction. So let me do 109. And that is the seat that Ashley Gant is vacated so she can run for state senator. So these are the candidates in that race, and some of them have come on the show. Satin Fye just was on. Broadway Hardware Broadway Harewood was on last week. Y'all remember he was out canvassing and he was standing in the streets talking to us. So that's him. Also, too, James Bush III, he formerly had that seat, and John H. Taylor Jr. is running for that seat as well. And John Taylor is the current mayor of Opelika. So just giving you guys all the, just correlations, right, in context. But that one, you want Broadway for a win? Honestly, that one is a toss up. I can't even call it. Too close to call. Too close to call. I will say this who I think could possibly take it. I think it'll be um honestly, you know what? Because there's a pathway for winning for everyone. I don't see it for Broadway. Love them down. Like I said, y'all don't take these personal. It's commentary, man. And it's just more so off of just based off of what everybody else got going on. Broadway, it's not that you're not capable, right? I think, that race had a strong candidates. But honestly, James Bush name recognition has a pathway in the universe where he could win. Satin Fye got that. She got that energy. She has also too that connection to the Democratic Party, to the Democratic primary. So I could see a world where she wins. And then John Taylor has. It is very weird. John Taylor has the recognition from being Opelika mayor, right? So I could see a world where any one of those, I could see a world where any one of those could get it. So predictions, that one I can't call. That one I can't call a clear outright kick your ass winner. Like I don't see it there. Any one of those could take it, right? Um, I would bet on Taylor. Okay. Chris Wills TV. Look, okay, we got the. I love it when the non-blacks come over here. Come play with us. Okay. You're welcome to the party. Just don't tell us on the menu. What's up, Chris? um, the next one. Let's do this Senate race. This is the seat that Chevron vacated to run for Congress. So candidates for Florida State Senate 34 2026. Let's see. Am. How y'all feeling? Y'all got predictions? Predictors. Don't lose me. Look, y'all messy because the number was going down when we had the interview. As soon as I said we finna do predictions, y'all sharing this thing. Y'all sharing it with people. This is what I love about y'all. Y'all got a little faith in what I be saying. That's y'all think people be telling me stuff. People be telling me stuff. I gotta love such and such. I believe Gant and Taylor are campaigning together. They are. She definitely is supporting and endorsed Taylor as her successor. For that seat. Y'all ready for my predictions for Florida Senate District 34? That's Senator Chevron Jones' seat that he vacated to run for Congress. And right now, the candidates, a couple of them came on the show. What is the candidate list? Okay, here it is. So the three candidates in this race, let me see if there's a Republican in this race. Okay, so right now I'm only seeing the Democrats. And for the most part, that's what y'all care about anyway. So we just gonna go with them. So Ashley Gant, she came on the show, friend of the show. Christine Alexandria San and Jules, she came on the show, friend of the show. Shannon Iguodaro, we couldn't get her schedules, but she wanted to come on the show, her and her husband, but the schedules just conflicted. So they definitely wanted to come on the show. So those three. So let me get y'all the names again. Y'all got the names again? Who messy? Who messy? This is y'all come over here for the hat. Don't let me get that torch. I've been sipping enough to go do that torch. Y'all want me to do? See, I've been saving Frederica because we kicked it off with Frederica on Thursday, and I may even have to come on Wednesday to do election results. Oh, or maybe I should do them live. I don't know. All I'm saying, when I do my recap of the actual election results, I'm doing it in the hat and the torch, and the voice is coming because Frederica is gonna tell y'all who won. Who got it? Big Freddie gonna tell y'all. She gonna I lost it a little bit. Y'all heard it was turning into like an Irish voice. Accents are hard to do. Shout out to Jamie Foxx them. It's hard to stay in a voice. My eyes are green because I eat a lot of vegetables. I'm going to be real honest with y'all tonight. It's late. I don't drink a whole Celsius. I'm going to be up all night working. Fuck it. Y'all want me to be honest tonight? Run them numbers up. Run them numbers up. I mean, I'm always honest, but I mean more raw and unfiltered. We gonna do it. We gonna do it tonight. F it. We gonna do it. And what I'm saying is, we gonna get into congressional district 24. We gonna get into it. We gonna get into it. But let's get back to the let's get it back to that Senate race. Let me see what y'all saying. I like Gant. Okay. Where's your Miss Cleo voice? Oh, calling me now. I got the hat on. I'm doing my predictions. Oh, Marlon, that's a missed opportunity. I should have did Miss Cleo. Let me see if I could channel her. Did she pass away? And they said she was from South Florida doing all that foolery. But she was predicting the future fakely. Like I said, this is all commentary. This is all guesses, predictions. But call me now, okay? Miss Cleo gonna give y'all the predictions for the primary elections 2026, okay? Marlon, how you like my accent? I know you're Jamaican, boy. Do you like the accent? I got the hat on to match, the dress to match. I got my things in the background. Erica Badu with her head wrap. Yes, let's get on to it. I believe you can. Okay, let me see. Child, y'all know Chev y'all know Chev move and make room for Ashley. That's keep election party with lemon drops and torches. Stop. Okay, let me see what y'all saying. I didn't know anyone else was running for the seat, but Ashley, that's hilarious. I feel bad that I didn't know much about the other candidates but Ashley. I mean, Ashley's a front runner. Put some extra oxtail gravy on District 24. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it. Look, Auntie used to do a good Jamaican accent, Auntie Lori. You could do a real good one. You sound just like them people. You sound just like the Jamaican people. Read cards. Tell us who gonna win. Ooh, Julius, don't make me get a prop. I got some. I got. Okay. We got our cards. We got our cards. Okay, so we finna do our cards tonight. Y'all messy. I love it. Y'all like when I do this messy shit, huh? Okay. So we finna get into the let's get into it. Oh, calling me now. I got my look. First of all, all these bills. Y'all remember that episode where Martin was like, he had all that mail. He was being a mailman. It's me, all these bills. Okay, so the prediction is wait. The prediction is for Senate race 34 for Florida. We got the candidates Ashley Gant, Shannon Igadaro, Christine. I'm not saying that whole thing, Shannon Jules. And the prediction is the cards are saying, motherfucking Ashley Gant. Come on now. Who we finna? And I love all those ladies. Very capable, good. That was a good race. But just Ashley been kicking they back in all there. She been kicking. It is Ashley. The card said Ashley. These are predictions. Again, don't take it personal. Also, too, and then you can't. I hope y'all know I'm not pussy. Don't be running up on me like that. Don't run up on me with none of that. Don't do it. Y'all better ask Tyler. Do not do it. Okay. This is all jokes and commentary. So Ashley took it. We see her winning. Yes, girl. Yes, girl. We see you taking it, Ashley, girl. So let's see. Next race. Wait, what's the next race? Oh, let's see. Who else? What was another big hot button race that we covered? Y'all know I'm trying to build it up for 24. Do we want to do the judges? Y'all like F them judges. We don't care. We don't care about the judges. No, I'm just playing. Look, the cards are calling for the judges. The cards. Oh, U.S. Senate. Okay, let's do U.S. Senate. Oh, yeah, y'all forgot school district. Oh, okay. Let's do U.S. Senate first because that's the easy one. That's the easy one. Okay, Florida U.S. Senate candidates 2026. Okay. I said Florida. Okay. Oh, it's more people in this than I know. So y'all, this is the race with Angie Nixon. She was on the show. So let's see. So okay. So this has the Republicans are, just to give it to y'all, Ashley Moody, and I don't know if these people withdrew, but Chris Gleason, Neelam Perry, Ernie Rivera. If y'all Republican, that's gonna be on y'all ballot. But for the Democrats, which I think most of y'all are, we're gonna do the predictions for that one. I'm honestly, the cause are saying Ashley Moody takes the Republican nomination. But for the Democrats, we have Angie Nixon, and Alex Vindman. Is it Vindman? Alex Vindman. So let's see what the cards have in store for U.S. Senate. Come on, call me now. Cards me now, okay? Ooh, I feel the spirit. I feel the spirit of the ancestors on this one. I feel hot. I feel hot. I feel hot. I feel hot. Ooh, I feel a little Harriet Tubman in there. I feel a little Alcide Hastings. Ooh, the ancestors are here for this one. And our predictions are Angie Nixon. Come on now. We predicting Angie. We want Angie Nixon. But we predicting. Here's the other thing too. I heard she's been polling good around the state. She has momentum. Here's the thing, she has two people, I mean not two people, but if she has good momentum in Dade County, and she's from Jacksonville, those are large markets, right? And so if she could get the voter turnout there, she could get it. We predict on Angie Nixon, Angie Nixon. Hoo. uh okay, we got to get it to the school district. Let me see what y'all saying. School board. What about Luke race? We already did Luke race, but you want me to do the cards on that one again? Call me now. Ooh, the ancestors are angry with this one. Ooh, congressional district 24. Ooh, the ancestors. Ooh, the cards are burning me. Ooh, gotta get them out of my hand. Who that congressional district 24? Who the ancestors don't like that race? They don't like it. Who the cards are saying? They saying Debbie Wasserman Schultz. That's what the people are saying. That's what the energy is saying. That's what the cards are saying. Yeah, we don't predict that one. Debbie taking that. Matter of fact, let me get good with Debbie so she don't kick my back in when I try to go get an interview for her. She gonna be like, you been talking all that shit on that podcast. Get out of here. But the prediction is Debbie Wasserman Schultz for Congressional District 20. That one just wasn't even a. However, we want a Luke or Dale or Sheila, but the energy is saying Debbie. These are predictions though. And again, it's not over until it's over. If you went to school in Miami-Dade County, ever played at Trask Powell, what Mr. Wilcox say at them football games at Trask Powell, the Mecca, it's not over until it's over. So we don't know if these predictions are correct. I'm just going off the energy and the vibe. So tell me why they was being messy on the ballot when it came to judges. Child, I voted for Yanith Baez, but on the ballot they had Yanith Baez and Rita Maria Baez name on top of each other. Ooh, be confusing. You better know who you're bubbling for. Nixon all day. Y'all had Nixon, Angie. Auntie Katrina School Board. Okay. Y'all giving me y'all predictions. I don't care if you're Irish or Caribbean. I'm all up here. That Caribbean accent is it's kind of hard to do. It goes into Irish. I wonder if they colonized the Caribbean because it's so easy to go into that A. You hear me? I'm Bahamian A. I'm trying. Uh, I'm not ready for CD24, baby. I might not watch that race at all tomorrow. I'm nervous for everybody. Girl, me too. School board district 1. Okay, y'all ready to get into the school board district 1? Oh, that's a juicy one. That's a juicy one too. Come on. Okay, we got to get into all the candidates because there's a lot of girls in that race as well. Okay, so let's get into school board. Y'all ready for the cards on that? Give me y'all predictions for school board district Miami-Dade County School Board District 1. Give me your predictions. Give me your predictions in the chat before the cards come out. Miami-Dade County School Board. Can't believe I can't. I do this for a living. It's fucking hilarious. School Board District 1 candidates. God dang, and that's long. All right. Let's see, because I just want to make sure I got all y'all names. Okay, Ballotopia, get me together. Let me see which. Okay, it's a lunch. It's a bunch of you girls, and those girls, they was ready to come over to the high low. I like the school board candidates. They helped us with our viewerships and our engagement. So I just really appreciate the school board candidates for seeing value in high low news. Also, too, the numbers were the highest when we had school board candidates on because people, I didn't know that many of y'all cared about the school board. As somebody who don't have kids, I just don't be. I pay attention to it, but not as much as the parent would, or a teacher or something, or a staff in the school board. Because I'm like, I mean, this stuff affects me, but indirectly, like that's I hope y'all get that. So okay, Joy Jackson. Okay, okay, okay. Oh, okay. So the cards are going. The cards. Oh, this one is it's a lot of energy on this one. Oh, okay, okay, okay. So let's get the candidates. Let's get the candidates. Okay, okay. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? So the candidates in this is Linda Courtier. Courtier, she is the wife of William Aristide, state rep. We got Iribor Igodaro. His wife is running for state senate. We got Joy Jackson came on the show. Igodaro wanted to come on, but we had some scheduling conflicts. We got Bernard Jennings. We had Brindley Messi. He was on last week, if you guys remember him. Katrina Wilson came on last week as well, if you remember her. James Wright came on as well. And Thera Johnson. Y'all see I lost the accent. So a lot of the candidates for school board came on or reached out. Linda here, we couldn't get the scheduling on down either, but her team reached out as well to come out. So let me give y'all the predictions for tomorrow's race. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Y'all ready? I ready? I ready? Okay, Joy is great, but the school board might need Wilson Pitbull personality for a little bit. Okay, okay. So let me tell y'all what my predictions are. I feel the cards. I feel the cards. I feel the cards. I feel the cards in the runoff. I do. I feel the cards in the runoff with Joy Jackson and Katrina Wilson. And I feel the cards. The cards are telling me that Katrina kind of takes it a little bit, and then they go to a runoff. That's what I see. I see in the cards and the predictions. And then I see for the general election that Katrina edges Joy out for the win. She has the support of Dr. Gavin. She has the name recognition from being a Miami Gardens City Council person. She has actually worked in various levels of administration and education. So I think when the voters are comparing apples to apples with Joy, who I think is definitely a good candidate, and there's a universe where she could win too. But I think because of those things that Katrina have over Joy, that she edges her out, and I think that the voters will pay attention to that. So those are my predictions, that Katrina wins it overall, but her and Joy go to a runoff. Her and Joy go to a runoff. And what I really love about it, and I posted a video of their camaraderie, and it wasn't nasty cattiness, like they supported each other. So we predict Katrina to win it all, but tomorrow's primary is going to be a runoff. A runoff. A runoff. A runoff. A runoff. A runoff. So, y'all ready for the main event? Dun, dun, dun. Let's talk about Congressional District 24. Then I'm taking my bed. Then I'm taking my butt to bed. Well, not the bed, to do some work. Y'all ready? Put y'all predictions in the chat while Miss Cleo stirs it up. Shout out to fucking Don Evil with the stirve, right? I watch him a lot. So a lot of his lingo be in my lingo. I hope y'all don't see it as jacking, but a form of flattery. Okay, let me see. Truth be told, we would win long call if Wilson and Joy was a team because they balance each other out. I agree. They have good energy. So let's get the candidates for Congressional District 24. Y'all ready to get into these predictions? Y'all ready to get into these predictions? Because a lot of y'all are like, why you ain't? But what about? And na and then and why you did it? And why not? First of all, gotta be unbiased. I can't show whatever y'all think I should show. My commentary is my commentary, but even still in that, there's just certain things I'm just not going to do, right? So let's get into it. So these are all the candidates running for Congressional District 24. Stir it up, Miss Cleo. Calling me now. Okay, runoff, Chevin Gilbert. Oh, no, 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 mama. Y'all know in these congressional races, it's winner take all. It's winner take all. It's winner take all. Hold on, somebody calling me. I'm like, I'm live. I'm all the way live. Don't be calling me. Who y'all sending this to? Who y'all sending this to? Because my phone is burning up. Burning up. My heart is like burning up. Okay, so let's get into it. It's no runoff. It's winner takes all. It's winner takes all. No comments on CD24. I'll just watch for the tea. I'm too scared. This race gives me chills. Me too. Me too. I know. That's I'm explaining to y'all. There is no runoff in the congressional races. They get the Democratic nomination when they win, and then they go run against the Republican. But in that races, especially when this is minority majority Republican, Democrat, it's more it's in these races like congressional 24 and congressional 20, it's kind of like whoever wins the Democratic primary is more than likely going to win the overall general election. That's because of the strong Democratic strongholds in those districts. So let's get into it. Cards. Oh, they flipped up at me. So these are the candidates running for Congressional District 24. That's Frederica Wilson's seat that she decided to not seek re-election on. Y'all know. Y'all know. Big Freddie ain't retiring. She's just not seeking re-election. Okay? It's time to pass the torch on to somebody else. And she passed it on to Oliver for the endorsement. Torched was passed. So these are the candidates. Tay Brown, that was the lady with the red bottoms and the stockings at the debate. Andy Darrow ain't showed up for nothing. Patricia Gonzalez, I ain't seen her at nothing either. Now, I don't know if y'all seen them at forums. I don't know. I ain't seen them doing no press, but they're running no party affiliation, NPA, independent. Patricia is a write-in. We reached out to all of them for questionnaires, and Andy and Patricia, I don't think responded. But I'm gonna put the link to that article in the chat too for Congressional District 24 because it was a really good one. It was a good article where we did a comparison guide on people's experiences and how they, measure up to each other. So back to the candidates. Now the Democratic candidates are Marshall Davis, Oliver Gilbert, Sharon Jones, Kendrick Meek Jr., Rudy Moyes, Gene Monestein, Roderick Barine. Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. What's y'all predictions in the chat? I can't even see the screen right now. I'm looking for I'm looking for something. I am looking for something on our website, and I don't know why this is not at the top of the thing. Okay, here it is. No, this isn't it. Hey, why is this not on the website? Derica and Ashika. I don't know what's going on with my website right now. Did somebody crash my thing? Did somebody crash my thing? Oh, okay. Well, IDK then. Something up with my website, y'all. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, here you go. No. There is an article. Oh, here it is. I'm like, where did it wasn't there before? Okay, maybe it was just loading still. Okay. So I'm putting this in the chat. I'm buying some time because I'm feeling a little nervous. But it's time to give some. We gotta have a family conversation. So y'all, we did this comparison guide. I'm gonna just do shameless plug because it's all about what High-Low News and promoting what we do over here. Y'all is sharing this If you just tuning in, we about to give our predictions for Congressional District 24. What we think the election results gonna be. So this was a comparison, guys. Shout out to Ashika Harrison who did this, the reporter who worked on this. Still undecided compared to 2026 candidates running to represent Florida's Congressional District 24. So this is what this article is all about. And y'all make sure y'all get into it. Y'all get into it and dip and do it. It's a good, very good article, especially for you people who have not voted yet. So um predictions. Shout out to Frederica Wilson for making room for the next generation. Okay. Um, switch it up to who wins Miami Gardens. You mean like that district? Or you think overall? Okay, we can start there. We can start there. We can start there. Mm, Congressional District 24. Ooh, the cards. Ooh, the cards. Oh, my lucky leprechaun. Ooh, the cards. Call me now, Miss Cleo. Miss Cleo, what is it telling me? Who wins Miami Gardens? Ooh. Oh, it's too close to tell. I can't even tell y'all a prediction on that one. It's too close to tell. I can't even get into it. I can't even. It's too close to tell. Now there are not Marlon being petty. Predictions, you smart. You got ideas. Look, now there are polls that has Chevron ahead by 10 points, right? And even Kendrick Meek looked like he gained a little ground, right? He gained a little ground. Say wanna say maybe there's a conversation that we should have after the election. Okay. And I kind of hinted to it when I said the Makita Cherry Prime race because of her affiliation. It's just more so because of such the negative attack ads and the light that it cast Oliver in for some voters that people have said that just association may have could have a negative uh backlash on her, right? And so we're taking that into consideration. Not y'all saying say it. It's not because here's the thing. Let's be clear. There are friendships, and I'm like there are things that maybe certain lines you in this, like I'm in real time, and this is real shit. Y'all are I'm processing the commentary, the service to my audience, right? The and balancing that with friendship, right? And real friendship, like not like some play shit. But there is a honest conversation that I think there's an overall lesson from this race that we should talk about after the election, right? Um, so the cards are telling me it's too close to call. Sorry, guys. Why y'all want me to say something? I know Janae don't fall for Marlon Trap. Let's talk about how to make lasagna something else. This is too much. Most of the votes already cast at this point. I'm not swaying nobody. If you want to vote for somebody, you gonna vote for them. Ooh, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Miss Cleo, charge back. Here's the thing for the front runners in this race, right? How do I say this? there are things that I'll just say that haven't been discussed publicly, and it's interesting why those certain things or characteristics haven't been discussed publicly. Rule number 1, Mega. Rule number 1, Mega. Rule number 1. Because I feel like I'm about to fuck up the bag. But I want to say something so bad. I'm trying to say it, and I'm almost like, is it worth it to say it? Rule number 2. Of course, rule number 2. Never breaking that. Um, so yeah, we talking in code right now. Hey, Mega. I thought you would have been asleep. Um, how about this? Chevronites. Why y'all love Chevron so much? Let's see. I know. I know rule number 1. Don't mess up the bag. I recalibrated, babe. Uh Chevronites. This is why reporters don't be friends. I already voted. I just hope the candidate I voted for wins. But like I like both OG and Chev. Me too. Me too. There are candidates that are qualified. There are candidates that have potential. There are candidates that we're like, what the fuck? Why y'all even in this? And there are candidates that are beloved, right? And you all have decided in this race what matters to you most. Okay. My vague thoughts on this is what I value is someone who can get the job done, who is qualified, who is smart, who is capable, who could work with the other side of the aisle, who could get the job done. And if I'm being honest, for me, the toss up is that Oliver or Chevron could do that, right? And if either one of them wins, Congressional District 24 would not be in bad hands, right? So I want that to be clear. Don't say it. We'll all know tomorrow. Okay. Mama called it. I was finna go there. I was finna go. I was finna dip and do. I was finna dip and do it. And you know what? That's a good point. Whoever wins, there's still a conversation that needs to be had about both front runners. You know what? And matter of fact, we're gonna say the 3 front runners. There's a conversation, pros and cons, about the 3 front runners, Chevron, Oliver, and Kendrick, that we need to have as a community. And how somebody said, nah, say it. Hey, Jay with a twist. And I think it's better had the card says better to have it after we know who the winner is. A because in this race, I just don't want to influence who y'all vote for. I don't. I value someone who to get the job done, and I value the person that treats others like a person. All right now. Who will be invited to the Thanksgiving? Who will be invited to Thanksgiving for this combo? This one of those politics and chills conversations. I want to have this conversation so bad, but I don't think it's the put it like this. I personally don't think that people are strong enough, or I feel like the voters on both sides, the supporters on both sides, especially if we talking about Oliver and Chevron, are so sensitive that anything that's said is gonna be taken the wrong way. Y'all it's 10:30 at night and y'all sharing this. Y'all messy as fuck. I love it. The numbers is going up. I want the candidate who is honest, supports the people, who is the legislative, who has legislative experience and temperament to work across the aisle. That part. That part. Day after day. Presidents like this the water down on my luck and up against the wind. Don't you run, don't you go, don't you hide. Y'all got me feeling like Cleo before she got shot up by the police. But yeah, too close to call. Honestly, exit polls are showing it's too close to call. But it's definitely a fight between Chevron and Oliver. So we will see. We will see. We will see. Well, I know who's that's not. I know you're not singing the song from Set It Off. Y'all got me feeling like Cleo. I would be out there. Stop. If you see, this is why this is a millennial show, because every millennial knows the scene I'm talking about. If you want to work for Luther's janitorial, then why don't you just take your broke ass home, okay? Run the credits and end the show. I love y'all. Look, tonight has been one for the books. We're gonna be doing it with Big Freddie with the hat and the torches coming for the election results recap tomorrow. I have not decided where I'm gonna be. I low key, I've been being real careful about putting my where I'm gonna be at on in that fence. I just don't want nobody running up on me, right? But there's a couple election night parties. Chevron got his, Oliver got his, Ashley got hers. Seen Ron Max on. I seen um Judge P. Well, not look at me, Judge Peabody. Okay, let's go. We want Bonita to win. And what's the other lady? Oh gosh, what's the other lady name? Give me the judge candidate, the other black lady that's running. Um, but yeah, she having an election party. I just got the invite. So it's a lot of places to be. Sometimes I just get overwhelmed and I may be like, let me just watch the results from home. Shoot, maybe we should just watch it from home, get live, drink, and talk about it. I'm in the bind, Nate. I'm in a bind, Nate. But juice the find, I'm in a bind. I'm in a bag. Yes, Renee Gordon. Yes, let's go, Renee Gordon. I hope y'all voting for everybody black. How about that? I'm predicting everybody black. That's what the predictions, the cards. That's how we end it. That's how we end it. Yanette Del Carmen Baez, her too. Come on now. Everybody black. How about that wins? And everybody that's an ally for the people, whether you black or not black. Yeah, we're gonna say that conversation. We're gonna say that conversation for after the election. Come on, y'all. Thank y'all. Sounds like a good idea to me. Oh, for coming on live and just watching the results together. Oh, and keep hitting refresh. And and watching the results. Oh, that may be a good one. That may be a good one. I'm gonna see that would be T, but your ass ain't gonna stay home with us. I may, because I low key don't want to get dressed. I voted for Renee and Yaneth. Okay, okay, okay. So tomorrow my voting district is in Miami Gardens. They moved it from AJ King Park. If y'all, voted in that Carol City area, if that was your precinct, is not there anymore. It's now Lester Brown Park in Miami Gardens. Coast Space having something as well. Maybe we could go live from over there. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I think I want to be home drunk and looking at the results, because here's the thing. I don't want to be in nobody's face if the results ain't what they want them to be. I think it's very awkward. It's weird. I just want to be home. Maybe looking at the report, check your precinct location. It may have changed. Yeah, mine changed. It used to be AJ King Park in Miami Gardens. It's not anymore. But how about this? Because I know some of y'all feel some sort of way. And that's the thing why I say like it's a disservice, because I give commentary on other people. I just got to have certain conversations offline. And I've told people who we have friendly relationships with that I will give them heads up before certain things are put out there. But I do think that for me, if it was any other race, like how I'm I have no personal connections to the people in congressional district 20. So y'all see how I go in on that, right? So let's just say once I send out those text messages to the people, I'm gonna say we talking about this on the show for the recap. Y'all gonna be surprised by some of my commentary. And it ain't gonna and I think y'all gonna be surprised. That's all I'm gonna say. But there's a conversation that we gotta have. I can't vote no affiliation to the party. Booze throws tomatoes. That's facts. Might have to go spaz out a little bit. That part. So y'all, this been real good. I have it put it like this. I'm gonna write on the card who I predict to win Congressional District 24. Y'all want to see it? Ain't shit. Who y'all? It's been a good show. Y'all ain't put y'all predictions. Who y'all feel gonna win Congressional District 24? Y'all want to put all that heat on my back? Don't put all that heat on my back. I'll say this before we go. Just another teaser. Okay. I'm so glad it's a few hours away from being over. Me too, loving hip hop election style. That part. Um, a conversation defense definitely needs to be had. Um, I don't get home from work until 9, but I would definitely be watching on my phone. Okay, okay, okay. That's facts. You might have to spaz out a little. Okay, okay. I'm staying home. I'm too tired for every single person in City 24. Real friendships. That part. That part. It almost feels like too, if you choose which election party to go to, that it almost feels like it's I don't like the bind they put us in. We need to talk about that too. I don't like that. Okay, y'all going with Chev. Okay, send it to me. Who I think will win. Oh, I'm gonna say this. I know who wins tomorrow. Congressional District 24. I know. I know. I don't know, but I know. And yeah, it's just gonna be a surprise to everybody. That's what I'm gonna say. It's gonna be it's gonna be what God wants. But I know. Torch or no torch. Torch or no torch. Hat or no hat. Anybody but Debbie, but I'm leaning towards Luke. That's Congressional District 20, but we don't predict the Debbie already. You missed that. You gotta go rewind because that was a funny one. Because we was doing Miss Cleo predictions, and the ancestors almost burnt my fingers up with that Congressional District 20 prediction. But yeah, I know who's gonna win tomorrow. Don't call me, texting me, asking me. Don't ask me how I know. I know who wins tomorrow. Congressional District 24. I wish I could bet y'all. I wish I could bet y'all. I wish I could bet y'all. But we'll see. Y'all, this has been so good. We probably gonna be monetized just off of this video alone. Y'all kept me some good steady numbers on here. Look, this is the last of our election advertising. Shout out to all of the candidates who thought it was important to advertise on our platform, who saw the value in you all, our audience. So I salute them for that. Y'all see the people who didn't advertise? Make note. We reached out to how about this? We reached out to everybody who's been a candidate on the show. I mean, a guest on the show. We ain't forced nobody. We don't know what their pockets is, but nobody can't say we didn't ask for the business. We did. I heard it. I heard an upset Black organization. Yeah, I think the Alphas or something had affiliation with her. D24 closer at 123. The rest running at the Usain Bolt. That part. I'm going to Moise watch party. Fuck it. No, I'm going to Marshall Davis watch party. Fuck that. I'm going to Marshall Davis watch party. I'm not going to T Brown watch party. I'm going to the Republicans on y'all. Congressional District 24 don't stress me out so much. Don't stress out. That's why I'm wearing the hat. It's a bald spot right in the middle of my head. Because they don't pulled all my hair, my edges out. Salute to Maurice for running every election. He was a good interview. I liked him. Mr. Davis probably gonna have the whole jazz orchestra. Wait, y'all going in? You did an excellent job getting a lot of candidates on the show. Hello News One. Thank you. I appreciate that, Daryl. I love you. You're such a thank you for being that example of a black man, a supportive, caring black man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Tay probably gonna have the city girls there. Then we need to roll up on Tay. We need to roll up on Tay. Y'all funny. Look. Okay. It's real late. Okay. The card said get your ass, take our ass to bed so we can wake up in the morning to go vote if we ain't vote yet. Call me now, okay? Call me now. Call me tomorrow. And you know what? I'm feeling like we gonna go live. Fuck it. The polls close at 7. We coming on at 7:15. How about that? Because they'll still be counting, but we'll start seeing election results. Fuck it. We going live, but we gonna go through the results together. We gonna cheer, cry, boo, or whatever together. How about that? How about that? And y'all could be at the election parties watching with us and looking at what we saying. Okay. Okay. I love y'all. I will see y'all. Well, pending tomorrow. I'll see how I feel tomorrow. But I gotta get up to go vote. But I love y'all. Tonight's show was real good. And I'll let y'all know if I want to go live. It'd be a lot to go live. Putting on makeup and shit. But yeah. Get off the live before you say something, Janae. Y'all, I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. Thank y'all as always for supporting Hello News. And I love y'all for real. This primary election season has been amazing. I've learned so much. I've grown so much. Our audience has grown so much. Thank y'all for all the people who started rocking with us when we first started doing these lives and kicking them back off like in June. So look how far we've come. Ain't nobody sleeping tonight. All them candidates like biting their fingers, stomachs and knots. Child, me too. Me too. I feel like this, like I'm gonna have a baby or something. This just feels, it's too much. But thank y'all. Support the candidates who support us. Y'all just leave it on. Y'all just leave it on and let the ads run, as I always ask y'all to do. And yeah, we may see y'all tomorrow live going through election results. For sure, it'll be Wednesday. If we don't do it tomorrow, we'll do it Wednesday. Bye.
While Ron DeSantis chose fights over culture wars, I've stayed focused on what families in Miami-Dade County actually need. I'm Ashley Gant. And in the Florida House, I saw Ron DeSantis play politics with our kids' classrooms while the real problems go ignored. I proudly stood up to that agenda, fighting for our schools, our families, our freedom to live our lives. Now I'm ready to take that fight to the Florida Senate. Family first, community first. That's how I'll lead in the Senate.
Hello, everybody. I'm endorsing Oliver Gilbert because he has always delivered for us, raising wages, delivering paid sick leave, and passing a law to lower water rates.
I'm Oliver Gilbert, and I approve this message because from supporting the 5,000 Role Models program to standing up to Trump, I'm ready to carry on the legacy of Congresswoman Wilson.
Trust me, we need Oliver Gilbert in Congress.
Hi, I'm Katrina Wilson, and I am running for school board member, District 1. I've been a lifelong educator for more than 30 years, and I have served in Miami-Dade County Public Schools for almost 40 years. I think that I have a depth of knowledge about education and an experience. Education is the gateway to the future. I think it allows you to dream.
This is a young man who is so selfless that he allowed me to bring into my home little criminal boys to live with us. When they needed clothes, he would help me pick out sneakers and clothing for them. Now, these are children with criminal records. That's who this young man is. When he finished college, he said to me, I want to work in the toughest school in Dade County. The director of the juvenile justice school called me one day and he said, This young man is magical because the baddest in here listens to him. That's just how he said it. So when I say to you today, Miami Gardens, y'all getting ready to get y'all a prize to sit on your county. You hear me? Ain't nobody like Paul Wilson. I'm telling you, he is absolutely fabulous.
For decades, Daphne Campbell has stood with the people of South Florida, listening and delivering results. A proud Democrat since 1994, registered nurse. She championed opportunities for underserved students to attend college, build brighter futures, and stronger public schools. Senator Campbell will fight to fully fund our classrooms, pay teachers what they are worth, and stop politicians from playing politics with our kids' futures. When residents demanded action against unfair traffic fines, Daphne listened and successfully fought to remove red light traffic cameras in North Miami, Biscayne Park, Miami Shores, and El Portal. Daphne Campbell is also a victim of gun violence. She lost her son to gun violence and understands the pain too many Florida families live with. She believes we can protect the Second Amendment while keeping our children and communities safe. Her vision is clear: stronger public schools, better healthcare, affordable housing, safer neighborhoods, and more opportunities for every family. Experience, leadership, results. Vote Daphne Campbell. Your voice, your future. Our district, District 108. Punch number 102 on your ballot. Political ad paid and approved by Daphne D. Campbell, Democratic candidate for State Representative, District 108.